At this point, I'm really at my wit's end. And then I step on the scale this particular morning. And you know what we do? We take everything off. Go use the bathroom.
Have to.
Get all that right there. It avoid it. In that particular morning, I was 210 pounds. And I just cried as on the scale and just boo-hooing, and I was done. And man, when I say the only regret was I didn't do it before that, before that time, but that's me.
For me, I have always been tiny. So tiny that my family would make fun of me because I had such this little tiny body, but I always had a big head. But it's
Well,
okay.
we know what's in that head, doctor.
But it's okay.
So in that year, I gained 80 pounds. So I went from 145, 150 to 220 pounds. And I didn't recognize that person.
Do you realize that you have to continue taking those things for the rest of your life? I'll never forget what she said to me. I will, but it'll take me off of my diabetes medication,
Right.
my high blood pressure medication, and I just, boom, light bulb.
We go out to eat, and now I can't eat as much. I felt bad. I feel like that's all I can eat. Literally felt sad because I couldn't eat it.
Food was a comfort.
Yeah.
Food was my escape. It settled my fears, my concerns, my hurt, the slow battle that I was going through.
It has nothing to do with your self-worth and your value and who you are. We are all made in the image, and we are kings and queens that walk this earth. So it doesn't matter what size I'm in, what I'm wearing. It doesn't matter. I know who I am, and I know my worth.
If I drop something, I got to figure out strategically how I'm going to pick that thing up.
And I was like, Kelli, did you just pick that up? Thank you for joining us today, always following us. We are Her Presence. I am Andrea Wormley, and I am here with my co-host. We have Kelli Moorer.
Hello.
And we have Melissa Benson. Thank you so much for coming. Make sure that you share, make sure you like, make sure that you subscribe. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, all the major platforms, podcast platforms. So make sure that you go in and subscribe. So today we are going to talk about weight loss and self-image, really. So I have a personal story that I'm going to share. And, I'm doing this because I got to make sure I'm not sweating. Because I'm about to tell you something. Some of my friends don't know this. So
we're fanning you from here. Go ahead.
I don't mind telling y'all. I'm 52, so sometimes it's heat flashes, but I don't think there's a heat flash.
No, it's heat flashes. Not today.
So so after having my last child, so up through getting married and having my first child, I really didn't have a weight problem. I feel like I'm 5'4", and I was always in between 140, 150. And it in my eyes, I looked good, and I was athletic and all this kind of stuff. And so then after having my last child, mind you, I couldn't stop eating with my last child. I just knew he was gonna be big, but he came out at a normal weight, so the rest was me. And I couldn't get that off. I exercised. I went to a nutritionist. I probably could write a book on how to lose weight and calorie counting and all this kind of stuff. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
But I couldn't get it off. I would still get on the scale and it would either be, I mean, I've exercised for the last 3 weeks and I'm still the same weight. Something's wrong. I don't get it. I'm calorie counting, and I would go to my nutritionist and she's like, "You're doing something's wrong. You're not doing something right. You're bringing in more calories and all this kind of stuff." And maybe your metabolism. I think I was told that my metabolism was slow, and I don't know, all this stuff, which is hard to believe, but I'm not the professional, but hard to believe because my muscle, I have like at least 60% I don't understand. Something's definitely wrong. So this was in 2015, 16. At this point, I'm really at my wit's end. And then I step on the scale this particular morning. And you know what we do. We take everything off. Go use the bathroom.
Have to.
Get all that right there. It avoided. This is just me. Let's see what's going on. And the scale had been creeping up. And that particular morning, I was 210 pounds. And I just cried. I was on the scale and just boo-hooing, and I was done. So at that point, I decided to have weight loss surgery. So fast forward, January 2017, I had weight loss surgery. And for me, that was the best thing that could happen. And that was for me. It wasn't for anybody else. It wasn't because I saw certain images on the TV, It was for me. I felt uncomfortable. Y'all, I would go to the grocery store and would be in there for 10 minutes and I was over it. I needed to go home. I would go and get the work all day, go get the kids. It was good to even get them fed and get homework done. I was exhausted. Exhausted. I had no energy. When I would get up in the morning, what is it called? Fascia? What when you walk your
Oh
feet?
yeah.
I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
Y'all know what I'm talking about, probably. But just my feet would hurt. Just my weight on my frame. That weight on my frame was just not good, and I could not get it off. Mentally, I was going through some stuff. It was just hard to cope. I did not like what I saw when I looked in the mirror. And my kids just didn't have a mom that had a lot of energy. So I decided to do weight loss surgery. I actually had researched for a couple of years, talked to friends who had it done, and did it. And man, when I say the only regret was I ain't do it before that, before that time. But that's me. I would have to say, I wouldn't tell somebody else to do it. I would just say for me, that was the best thing. And so before I go into a question that I'm going to go into from that, I'm going to ask this question here, and then I'll just let you guys take over from that. What emotions come up when you think about your weight or your body image? And then how has your relationship with your body changed over time? Any one of y'all, you can take over. It's like, you go. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I thought that was for the audience. Oh, okay. Ask that question one more time. One more again. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought that was for the audience. You said survey. I thought the survey was for us. Oh. Let me pay attention a little bit more. God. I tore this up. I'm sorry.
How has your relationship changed over time? Has it changed?
It
I think
has.
it has.
Mhm.
It has.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how has it? I know because we were talking about some stuff before the camera
Before we
started.
hit play.
So I showed out.
So how has that changed? What is it? Elaborate on that.
For me, I have always been tiny. So tiny that people, my family would make fun of me because I had such this little tiny body, but I always had a big head. But it's
Well, we
okay.
know what's in that head, doctor.
But it's okay. And so then the military didn't help because it kind of buffed me up, toned me up, got me really fit. And so, but I've always had a smaller frame.
Mm.
I even remember as a little girl, my cousins were always shapely. And I was always straight up and down.
Mm.
And I was like, why do they have everything? And I'm just straight up and down. And not knowing they're looking at me saying, we wish we were straight up and down, tiny.
Mhm.
As I've gotten older, I even have family members say, you show Lauren Anderson now. We know because my body has now shifted.
Right.
Once I had my kids, once I retired from the military, my body has now changed.
Mm.
And with those changes comes emotions.
Mhm.
Emotions of, I want to get back to I don't want to be the size I was when let me say that. I don't want to be
You
the
didn't want to
size
be
I
high
was.
school skinny?
No.
Okay.
Nor do I want to be pre-children skinny.
Okay.
I don't. But when I look at myself now and the things that I used to be able to do, run 2-3 miles, do push-ups and sit-ups and all those things, I can't do that right now. It's a struggle.
Mhm.
So I think there is a happy medium for me of where I want to be in my weight loss journey. And I love what you said. It's not for anybody else. When I want to lose weight or do whatever, I'm not doing it to gain the attention of others, to get the approval of anybody else. It's about what makes me happy. When I look in the mirror, what do I want to see? When I put on my clothes, how do I want them to fit? So that's what it's about. And you get to a point in your life when that's the most important thing is how I feel.
That's right.
And what makes me feel good. So, but when you say, what are the emotions that come with weight loss and weight gain and all of that, take your pick. There's all types of emotions that come with it. And then understanding that a lot of it is hormonal. So there's nothing you can do about it. It's just a change of life that
I must have had
happens.
a lot of hormones. Oh no.
Okay, I digress. All right, that's me. That's me.
Because I know it's true. What about you, Kelly? What emotions come up when you think about weight loss, and actually has your relationship with your body image, has that changed over time?
So, very similar to what you said. So I'm 5'10", so I'm tall. I did not have a weight issue. I played sports. My favorite sport is volleyball, indoor and outdoor volleyball. So I was always athletic. Joined the military too. Got more muscular but feminine, and still carried on that same weight. Um, my weight gain came when a couple things had occurred.
Yeah.
I had a surgery. I have an autoimmune deficiency, so that's some medication, prednisone, that causes weight gain. I was engaged, and that had to end. And I was a smoker. I learned how to smoke in the military, and caught the flu and couldn't talk, couldn't do anything, and couldn't smoke. And said, just day 1, day 2, day 3. So in that year, I gained 80 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I went from 145, 150 to 220 pounds. And I didn't recognize that person. I didn't know who that person was. Um, and so my self-image was about my size and
Mhm.
being able to put on anything in the size that I was in
Mhm.
and be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm looking at myself and I don't even know who that person is.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it hurt.
You talking about then?
Then
Mhm.
it hurt.
Mm.
It hurt. And then went on, I said, okay, I can't do this. And so I will share. I also had weight loss surgery as well. Um, wasn't necessarily the typical candidate, but the doctor was really, watching the weight loss. And we did really well. And then I had what's called urticaria.
Mm-hmm.
And that came back, swelling. And one of the medications that I had to use was prednisone. And so that shot me right back up.
Oh.
And so once again, now it's the yo-yo. So I hate to say it, but when you have not had a weight issue and then circumstances, come your way, it can change how you see yourself,
Yeah.
whether
Mhm.
you want to admit it or not.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't like what I was seeing in the mirror. And I'm not a vain person, but I'm just not used to this type of body and
Mm-hmm.
all the new things, the nuances that come with it, as well too.
Yeah.
Mm. Wow. So so this day and time, and I think you have something you wanted to talk about concerning that. I mean, eh, we almost got a magic pill now.
Yes.
A magic shot, pill, whatever. But so I think you had a question about that. I think you did.
Well, so in the era of all the GLPs, and there's so many, I'm not going to say the various types because there's many, many of them, and many, whether it be pill form, whether it be injections, whatever people are taking, society now has changed.
Hmm.
Because if we looked at the statistics surrounding how many people are on some type of GLP, taking some form, that number is astronomical and it continues to increase.
Right.
So, how do you feel that those medications and those things have impacted our societal view of weight loss?
I feel like it's society. Well, I feel like it makes people feel like it's more obtainable now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's easier now, but it's still controversial.
Mm.
Um, when we were little, I can only speak from a girl's point of view. When you did look at TV and magazines and whatever, you had an image of what a woman was
Mhm.
supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Um, and you had, and it probably felt like you were failing in that because honestly, for the most part, they probably didn't look like me. And so you probably felt like you were constantly trying to adjust your image, your perception of how you look personally. You were always trying to adjust your image, and you may have felt like it was not attainable and you were always failing, right? And so now, fast forward to now, we have all of these tools that you could use
Mhm.
and it's more obtainable. And some people are like, I'm going to do it. Some people have permission from their doctor or gave their own self permission or whatever. And I think that that has changed where people have, people may feel like, if I've heard people say, well, I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to do it the, the natural way, just go out and work out and,
Mhm.
whatever. I'm not going to do it that way, and they talk down on people who are taking these, what are they called?
GLPs.
Those.
GLPs.
Or even having weight loss surgery.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I feel like that is how it's kind of shifted, and you see more people having. So you talked about, Kelli, you talked about how you know how it feels when you're heavier and what people have to say about that and how they talk down on you and dismiss you, and you know, everybody got something to say. But even when you lose the weight,
Oh yeah.
Somebody got something to say.
somebody, you're too skinny. You know,
When you
Don't
don't look right.
Don't lose no more weight.
Don't lose no more weight. You look.
Don't lose no more.
Are you sick? Is something okay with?
Right,
Are you okay?
right,
You know. So you had weight loss surgery, or some people don't even tell you that they
Right.
had that because they don't want to hear it, right?
Yes.
Or you're doing this shot.
Mm-hmm.
Really, you know. So I feel like that's how it's changed. To me, that's how it's changed.
That people see it as a quick get skinny quick solution.
And they don't understand how you got to that point. There
Right.
was a life that happened. There was a thing that happened. There was an emotional situation that happened that probably was years before getting to the point where you made a decision to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Now, for some people, maybe not. But even with the shot, going to talk to your doctor about, well, does this work for me? And, you know, and what if and what does this mean? You know, I'm going to have to maintain this for the rest of my life, or what is, you know, what does maintenance look like? That's a whole situation that is happening. And it's not a get skinny quick. It was more than that. Yeah, for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. GLPs. You know, I'm kind of boiling a little bit inside because it's all about people's opinion about other people. You know, you lost too much weight or you're too heavy. The GLPs are giving people a second opportunity in life sometimes. If they've always been heavy all their life and their numbers have been up, their health has been a big play in that one, this is giving them the opportunity to let's get it handled, let's get it started now.
Yeah.
Working out alone, it takes months. We've been doing this journey for 4 years at a gym. Have we not? Okay. But whatever that person needs, and if it's the GLPs and they're under doctor's care, let them live their life and let them do what's best for them.
It's funny you say that. I was just talking to my girlfriend, and she is on the journey of getting ready to and know this, it's not, if you're doing it the right way, I mean, because there are so many easily accessible ways to get it.
Oh yeah.
But if you're doing it, and I shouldn't even say the right way, if you're doing it where you are consulting and meeting with your provider, they're giving you the mental health, you're getting the nutrition counseling, they're doing what I call holistic care.
Yes.
And then they're putting you in the course or the journey for you to be able to take those medications for weight loss. So she's on the journey.
Right.
And one of the questions I said to her, I said, do you realize that you have to continue taking those things for the rest of your life? I'll never forget what she said to me. I will, but it'll take me off of my diabetes medication, my high blood pressure medication. And I just, boom, light bulb. I was like, you're right. It would.
And all the other things that I would have been on if I
Yes.
continued this.
Yes. I was like,
Bingo.
I was like, you're right. Yes.
Right.
So it's not a get skinny quick.
No,
It's a
it's
process.
work.
It's a journey. And then when you think about the weight loss, it is even a process of where you still have to go work out,
You have
because
to.
as my trainer always says, you don't want to be, how does he say?
Flabby.
Skinny fat, meaning you're skinny, but you got all this
Right.
stuff shaking and jiggling and all of that. So you're not
You don't
toned.
have it.
Yeah. So it still is it's still a process. It's
still a
still a journey.
process.
It's still
It's a tool.
a work.
But it's a
still
wonderful
yes,
tool to get
yeah,
you started on
yeah.
the next journey.
It's not
And so
magic.
it's not just I'm taking this and that's it. Like
Yes.
you just said,
Mhm.
it gets you to the next journey. Now you
Right.
have the energy.
Yes.
And now you're seeing
Yes.
some results. And now I
Yes.
want to keep this journey going.
Yes.
Because I know if I don't, I know what it looks like.
Yeah. And I have another friend, he's a male, and he is on the journey. When I tell you his self-esteem is through
That
the
part.
roof.
Come on now. And
That
self-image
Oh my God.
and
That
mental
part.
health.
Oh my, he's sending
Yeah.
us pictures and we're like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
That's enough.
You look good. Thank you.
Yeah.
But it just changes how the person feels about themselves.
Exactly.
And I know he struggled with weight loss since we were teenagers.
Yeah.
So to see him on a journey where he's been up and down, up and down, up and down, to see him not plateau, but be in a space where he is happy.
Right. Right.
It's a game changer.
Yeah.
And we're not endorsing any particular ones.
No.
okay?
At all.
We're just talking
No.
about weight loss.
Right.
But I am endorsing eating. Okay, so let's talk about flan.
She said
Because
eating.
I think mentally that was my issue,
Uh-huh.
right? So also, I would have to say, mentally, the mental issue with losing weight was also the fact that I had to back up from the table.
Mm.
So in my culture, we go to the table when somebody in town. We go to the table
Sunday.
on Sunday. We got to celebrate somebody. Well, what we gonna eat? Who gonna cook? What's the menu? I remember when I first started to go to a therapist about my weight, and one of the questions she asked was, so do you find yourself eating when you're sad and things are not going well? Yeah, also as well. And when I'm happy, when we eat all the time in my culture, it's like, what happened to you? Girl, let me tell you what happened. Okay, let's meet at such and such restaurant. Okay, but then also the happy times. That's what we do, right?
Food
we
brings
do.
people
I mean,
together.
we bring food.
Yeah.
We gonna bring food, and
Yeah.
babe, make sure you bring that pound cake, and make sure
macaroni and cheese.
bring that whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we do. And so when you are trying to lose weight, listen, whether it be the natural way, whether it be you're using some other type of tool to help you, there is still a time you stop eating. You have to push, or as much, I should say.
Right.
So even with weight loss surgery, you stop, and there's still this thing where you feel like you should still be eating. In my culture, and
Yeah.
where if that's been your culture, even at your house, just you and yourself's culture,
Yeah.
you have to, and so whether you do it the natural way, as people say, or you have tools or whatever, there's still something that happens because there's this space where you come together and you still eat with your people, right? And so there's this thing that happens there. So somebody
Shift.
may look and say, so that's all you're gonna eat? Now I got to explain myself, right? Even if I'm trying to lose weight the natural way, I still got to explain myself, right? Okay, yeah, I'm trying to lose weight or whatever. And it's hard if you don't have the words to say, it's hard to articulate that, right? So I think that's something also, I don't know if you guys have comments on that, where and then when you do eat back beforehand, when I did eat the chocolate cake, and I knew it was way over the calories. Now I'm feeling bad the rest of the day. So there's this well-being that is like canceled, I would have to say, because of that. When I'm sitting on the couch and I'm like, that pasta's in there. I'm gonna go have some, and then, but you telling yourself, I shouldn't, and you go do it anyway. And then you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Or at the end of the night, when all the kids gone to bed and it's just you, and now you watching a movie and you need a snack, and then you wake up the next morning, you be like, did I eat all that? You know?
Too easy to eat it all.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
you have something there's something going on. There's a behavioral thing that's
Yeah.
happening, right? Obviously. But now you have an issue. You're coping with, why do I keep doing these things, right? I will say that once I had weight loss surgery and I couldn't do it,
Right.
there was still a mental thing that was happening, because my husband and I, we would go out to eat on every Thursday because we were so busy. So on Thursday, that was our date night. And every Thursday we would go out to eat.
Mm-hmm.
We go out to eat, and now I can't eat as much. I felt bad. I feel like that's all I can eat. You know, literally felt sad because I couldn't eat it. There's this thing, this relationship with food that I feel like we should talk about also.
Yeah.
I don't know if is there any comments on it?
So as you're talking, I'm remembering, because you're talking about culturally and how, so it takes me back to how I grew up and even how I raised my kids, right? After dinner, there's dessert. I mean,
Listen.
that's just the way it is. It's going to always be something there. And there's a part of me that wished I would have done that a little different, because it is not a requirement. If you have dinner, you have to have dessert. It's not a requirement. But we grew up with that mindset that it was. And so that's one thing. The other thing is, I have friends who whatever stage they're in or whatever journey they're in or whatever, when you talk about the story of how we view food, there's many things going on. It's the people who are not eating because of whatever reason, and then you have the people who want to really eat and indulge. So I feel like there's some judgment all around the table, right? Because
right.
what's wrong with y'all that y'all not eating everything?
Right.
Don't look at me, because I'm gonna eat it all, you know.
Right.
And didn't you say you want to lose weight? You need to slow down.
So it's just where we are, and you have to get into a place where what makes you whole. And I'm not gonna say happy, because I believe happiness is a state, right? But contentment, where you feel, I am content. If I want to eat this whole thing, it's my prerogative. If you don't want to eat but a bite of it, your prerogative. Period. And the judging that goes on at the table has to stop. It has to stop.
Well, at least just mute it, because I don't want to hear it. Yeah. Put a mute on it.
Yeah, it's like, come on. I mean, I know if I eat that whole piece, okay, there's some consequences. There's consequences if you only eat a bite. There's consequences on both sides. So we just have to, don't be looking over here. You do you, I do me, and let's be happy.
Yeah. I think, in our group, we show love by feeding.
Yeah.
I go to my mom and dad's house, and, after the greetings and the hugs and the kisses, what you want to eat? And I'm like, I'm not even hungry, but that was mom's way of, expressing her love and her gratitude for her family and her children, she would say. And so she would feed us, whether you were hungry or not, you were being fed. And then I went through my life be lifing, stage, and food was a comfort.
Yeah.
Food was my escape. It settled my fears, my concerns, my hurt, the slow battle that I was going through. Girl, I could tell you, my go-to was ice cream cake.
Okay.
We ain't gonna tell you how many ice cream cakes we ate in a month.
At least
that was like your pound cake.
You had one go-to.
Girl, oh my goodness. I had many. I had a sweet tooth. And so Girl, it was that, it was so many great restaurants, and you don't realize how many calories you are
Yeah, you
consuming at
don't.
one
You
time.
don't. You
And
don't.
sometimes I'm still hungry, it's
Yeah.
like, and so, over time. So I still love my food. Right now, I have to manage it because if I do not,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
it can get out of control.
Yeah, absolutely.
But again, I'm probably gonna keep saying this and saying this and saying this. It's so interesting how other people's comments and opinions affect how we live our lives
Mm-hmm.
and what we see as beauty
Right.
and what we should be content with. And if I'm in a process where I want to lose weight, then how much weight do you want to lose? There's
Mhm.
always someone having to say something about you. And that can also be a derailment for people,
Right.
which is a concern for me,
Mm.
because it can take them off their track.
Mm.
And so then my question would be, how do we ignore the naysayers so you can stay on track with your goals?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I that question of how my image has changed is, or how my relationship with my image, or I would say that just period, whether it be weight or anything. Um, it definitely has changed down through the years where at this point, y'all know, I don't care. So I literally was able to just turn that switch off. I honestly don't care. This is what did you say? You said not happy, but
Content.
Content.
I'm content.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey, this is good for me. For me, it's
Right.
good for me. I'm content. But as you said, what other people's expectations or the way what they have to say is important. I will say it is important because I do run on accountability also.
Yes.
Right.
All right. So I
Right.
can turn the switch back on in the areas that I need it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So when it comes down to even working out, uh, you know, I need accountability. So if I say, I don't feel like going, I need somebody else's judgment to come. I thought you said you okay. You right.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm coming.
Yeah.
Or I know that they expect me to be there and I don't want to answer to them
Yeah.
if I don't show up. Like I know how to turn that switch on.
Mm-hmm.
Coming together and say, yeah, I'm on this thing here and so I'm trying to do this, that, and the other. So if y'all see me doing this, I need y'all to check me.
Mm-hmm.
I've given you permission
Yeah. Yeah.
to say a
To say
thing. So now we sit at the table. So you just gonna have another piece of cornbread?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm not.
Yeah.
Man, that's a lot of pasta you gotta, is it?
But I
You-
think it also,
Mhm.
like, we really have to put into context, right? There is a difference between being healthy,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
being small,
Mm-hmm.
right.
and being heavy, overweight. Neither one of the two
Means
indicates health.
right. That part.
So if we're going to talk about the weight loss, just because you are a size 2 does not mean that you are healthy at all.
Come on.
Exactly.
And if you are a size 20, it does not mean that you are unhealthy.
Right.
That part.
Because it depends on your frame, how tall you are. It's a number of factors.
Right.
So
goes
we
into
need
that.
to address that piece. So don't think just because you look at this person, oh, they are the picture of perfect health because they are a size 10 and whatever, 150 pounds, whatever. No, that's not what it means. What is their overall state of health? Because that's the longevity.
Right.
And that's the thing that we should be focusing on.
So your goal, like what is your goal? Is your goal for longevity? Is your goal to look a certain weight, to be a certain weight? Or is your goal
Health.
longevity and health?
And
I
health.
think that's good.
I hope the goal is health, because even if you get down to that weight that you want to be, if you are not healthy, it's not sustainable.
It's not.
So that's a huge piece. But also then understanding that weight is not associated with self-worth.
Right.
It doesn't matter your weight. It doesn't matter your size. It has nothing to do with your self-worth and your value and who you are. We are all made in the image, and we are kings and queens that walk this earth. So it doesn't matter what size I'm in, what I'm wearing. It doesn't matter. I know who I am, and I know my worth.
Right.
So a couple of questions with that, because I agree, but I think we all agree that it's easiest to say that, right?
It
Because
is easy to say.
right. So couple questions. So what does that look like, or how do you peel that off or disconnect the two, right? And then what motivates you in a healthy way? Like what are the things that motivate you to be healthy? Just those two. So it's two separate questions, but take one of them.
Which one you gonna take, Melissa?
Which one you want, Kelli? Which one you want? I'll take the other one. I'll leave whatever you leave on the table, girl. Come on.
So how do you disconnect the self-worth with weight loss or being a certain weight, right? Or what motivates you in a healthy way? What are the
I'll
things?
take the first one. So what I used to do, what I had to do, because I had to change how I saw myself. You know, even at my most heaviest weight, you know, it's from within out. So staying in that negative, when I see myself in the mirror, I may not like that image, didn't like the image. And so I had to say, well, this is where I'm at right now. Nothing's going to change until you change. So what's the first steps? What I did is I created a spreadsheet, and it was affirmation. And every morning before I got into that shower, I had to say 3 things on what I liked about the person I see in the mirror who has nothing on. Hair all over the place because the wrap didn't work, you know, and I'm naked, you know, with the rolls and dimples and all that. And I had to still say, but what do you love what are the 3 things that you see about this person? What do you love about this person? And I started to feed back into myself. Okay. And that's what we're going to lean on for the rest of the day. And what happens first thing in the morning, besides you say, you know, your prayers to thank the Lord for another wonderful day, is now I'm changing my mindset about myself, the negativity, because that negativity can go all day long on what you're not doing. And I had to have a fresh start for something positive and believe it.
Yes.
It's not just the words. And sometimes I had to fake it. And then I kept rehearsing that to myself throughout the day. And then one by one, I started to remove the chips, removing the dark clouds. And I saw, okay, well, let me learn how to do 10,000 steps and see what that looks like, and do that every day. You know, get accountability partner. I had a different accountability partner before I had this one over here. And slowly by surely, I started to see the old me, but the better me, and how I saw myself.
I absolutely love that because I'm all about affirmations. I believe that in my bathroom, when I go to the bathroom
right now.
in the morning, in my private area there, that I have something there that I read every morning. It's just a constant reminder, because I believe in the world we pour out so much.
Yeah.
And the world tells us so many things of who we are and what we're not and all these things. It's my moment to pour back into me.
Right.
And to see me the way God sees me.
Right there.
And that's enough.
Right there.
Because if you can believe it here, I believe it bleeds out. It bleeds out into every part of you. So affirmations, yes, all day long. Yeah. And just remember, sometimes you just got to look in the mirror and say, you are gorgeous.
Good morning.
You're beautiful.
You're gorgeous.
Yeah, you do. You do. Yes, in every part of you.
MJB. Yes.
Every part of you. You have
That was
to
an
do
anthem
it.
song for me too.
Even when what you see is not what you want to see. And I love what you said there. You start making your plan of how I'm going to, if this is not what I want to see, to be my best self.
Right.
Not what everybody else is telling me, for me.
Right.
How do I get there?
Right.
I like that.
And then the question was, okay, then number 2, the question was about what motivates you for health. It's my kids. I want to be around to see my children's children's children. So wherever it takes for me to get to that point, to have longevity, a long life, then I've got to do it. Not just for them, but for me. But
Right.
they are a huge driver in that, because I can't wait to meet my grandchildren's grandchildren. And that's
Yeah.
important to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. What motivates me is just remembering how it feels to be in the midst of it. Like if I'm going and I am running, or if I'm walking, or if I'm on a bike, or I'm just outside working in the yard, and it just feels so free. And if we're honest with ourselves, it feels better than sitting on the couch watching TV. I'm just saying,
You're
like, think
right.
about
You're
it. Think
absolutely
about it when
right.
you're out
Yeah.
in the sun and you're doing things or whatever, and then you can stand back and look at the work, whether it be you not necessarily skinny or smaller, but you can see, girl, I got me some muscles.
That I want.
Right.
Off
Wait
your
a
body.
minute, that's hard.
She said that I want.
That's
Girl,
hard,
her
right there.
arms would be guns. I'm like, golly, I'm doing the same thing.
And then you know that you did that. And honestly, even though you didn't, it's the get up part. So just if you can get past that and then you get there, it's the get up. And that's only what, all of 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, you over that, right? And you made it there. The part where you're actually doing it, if you think about it, you're actually having a good time.
Yeah.
You like,
I tell you, I can't tell you the number of times I'm like, I don't want to go work out. I don't want to go for the walk. I don't want to do it. And you do it and you just, that was good.
that was
That
really
felt
good. You're
good,
looking around and you're
So,
like,
Yeah.
I'm so glad I did that.
Yeah,
I think that
exactly.
that's what motivates me.
You know what? And also what motivated me was 2 things. And it's plantar fasciitis.
And
Oh,
fasciitis.
the-
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So that was one. My thing, and you know that you knew this, is my knees were so weak that I could not bend down
Yeah.
without having
Oh,
to
yeah.
have a support, whether it's somebody's hand or an object. To literally, I could not. So if I
Yeah.
drop something, I got to figure out strategically how I'm going to pick that thing up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the muscles around my knees were so weak. And we were doing the gym. We had a gym membership, and then we ended up having
Personal trainer.
personal trainer. We talked about her before. And Tia. And she worked it. You know, we got into lifting weights and moving weights and
Wow.
moving. What was she on, girl? That I actually pulled her for a distance.
Oh, on that tire we had to
A
pull.
big tire, big, and I had a. She was
And she
105.
on it.
Yeah, and I'm pushing her, pulling her, and over time, you know, we're building muscles, and I'm not even paying
Sounds
attention.
amazing.
And then, girl, I dropped something, and had the nerve to pick it up in the gym without any help.
And I was like, Kelly, did you just pick that up?
And that right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was having, I mean, when your mobility is not what it used to be, that really changes also your perspective. And also the planters, you know, they said you have flat feet. I never had flat feet, but that weight caused me to have some flat feet. And so I had to get special, you know, inserts. And so when you start to see those goals, and you start to see your health and your mobility improve, the biggest thing is that mobility.
Right.
Because without that, that can limit the things that you can do. And I'm still too young to be limited on those type of things.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
The affirmations, I want to circle back because I think, sometimes people may not feel like that's necessary. It's just like, okay, here we go with the affirmations, or speaking life into the situation, being positive, instead of being negative. So I do. It's not something that's, and it's not something that's mystical.
No.
It's not something that's magical.
No.
It is the truth, and it's the way your brain works.
I was gonna say
I know
it's
we talked
scientific.
about it. It is scientific, and
Yeah.
we've talked about this before. So you
Yeah.
have at the base of your brain, I believe it's called the RAS, Reticular Activity System, and it is the very thing that causes you to focus. So let me give you an example. Like if we all three of us was in a car together. And I think this is the example I gave you some time ago. If we are all in the car together, and what do you drive?
The brand or
Yes,
Alexis?
a Lexus. Okay, so when you first got the Lexus,
I loved it. No.
we could all be in the same car, but when you first got that Lexus, how about you now see the same Lexus all the time? The same brand. Now they've been out there all the
Three.
time. They didn't just all of a sudden show
Right,
up.
exactly. Right.
But that's your RAS working.
Right.
Now you're focused on that thing, right? And it's the same thing with affirmations. I
Yeah.
love how it
Yeah.
feels when I'm this, and this, whatever it is that you put on your little affirmation or on your plan. This is my plan of attack. I love how it feels to be this way. I love how it feels. And you're walking in speaking life like that to the point where you begin to focus on it. You begin to focus on the things that'll get you there. Right.
Exactly.
And so that's why affirmations and writing it down and making it plain. That's why that's important to do. And then actually saying it and stop and change your language. Start saying the positive things, because when you say the negative things, you're actually telling your brain that you ain't made it yet,
Right.
that you're a failure, that you're this, that you're that. And and I know that sometimes we're not self-aware, right?
Right.
But you have to be self-aware, and that's how you become self-aware.
Exactly.
You begin to say those things, and your biologically you begin to shift and focus on those things. So what you think about all day long is what you are.
Yeah.
So what you thinking about?
Yeah.
And a vision board's good for that too.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
A vision board, because the minute you write it down,
Yep.
it's out of your head
Uh-huh.
and you can see it.
Yes.
You may not attack it right then and there, but it's written down. And back to what you're saying, so I'm gonna tell you, when I wanted certain legs, I would see all these women walking around with these legs. And what I would always tell them, I would say, please excuse me. And they're like, yes. I says, thank you for having those legs, because those are the legs that I want. And that's what I'm going to be aspiring to get. And that was a little giggle.
Yeah.
But it allows me to vision again what I want to see and how will I get there to get it.
Absolutely.
That's
I
just
like
kind
how
of funny,
she
a
said
funny
she
little
would
thing.
tell somebody, because I feel like as
I love
women,
it.
we need to, well, people, period.
Yes.
But to celebrate somebody else and say, girl, we
Look
winning.
good.
You are
Okay.
winning.
Beautiful.
And I'm watching it.
And because you're winning, I'm going to win.
I'm gonna
I'm
win.
winning.
Come
Not
Because
going
you've
to.
given me
I'm
the
winning.
image.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So we actually have about 5 or 10 more minutes. Were there any other comments that you guys wanted to chat about? Any other
I just
thing?
want to say is that, whatever your journey is, however you choose to get to your end spot, let that be your journey, whether it's weight loss, GPLs, that's your journey. Don't let anyone talk you out. Make sure that you're definitely discussing those with your doctor. And that also includes if you decide just to go straight to the gym, discuss that with your doctor. But let that be your personal journey, and don't let anyone else talk you out of what your journey is. But also keeping in mind, if you decide to go with weight loss surgery or the GPLs, that you're still going to have to work out. So it's just an added bonus to get you closer to your goal, but you still are going to have to work out. You got to make sure that you got your proteins in and your muscle tone.
Be healthy.
So it's not, it's not going to fix everything, but also it's going to help you to start re-looking at how you look at food and how you look at yourself, and just getting some plans in action.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I've got a couple of others. One is sleep.
Oh my goodness. Tell it.
Tell it. We don't realize how sleep deprivation impacts our ability to maintain proper weight, proper health, all of those things. You have to. And people think, oh, I can make it off of 5 hours. No, your body needs ample sleep. So please make sure you are getting adequate sleep. 2, hydration. No matter if you're taking the GLPs, whatever it is, your body needs water. Yes. You have to hydrate. That is so important for in your journey, whether it's weight loss journey or being healthy. You have to have water. And then lastly, I'm going to throw in the pill of positivity. No matter what you are going to do, you have to remain positive. Our body is built on, you mentioned the RAS. I'm going to mention oxytocin. It is that healthy, happy piece. So you've got to stay positive. I don't care what it looks like. Find the silver lining in every part of life and everything that you do, because it's going to change your outlook.
Right.
And if you can do, to me, some of those 3 things, like you've already said, those pieces, combine that with it.
Yeah.
And it just makes for I'm more so focused on wholeness.
Yes. Yes.
It's about being whole. If you're whole, the happiness will come.
Yeah.
If you're whole, the health will come.
Yeah.
And all components of it.
And be patient. Be patient with yourself.
Absolutely.
And some sun.
Yes.
Get some vitamin D.
Vitamin
and
D.
that sun.
Vitamin D.
You'll be surprised how that'll help your well-being. Get into the sun. Get out of the house.
Yes. Yes.
You know, stop watching the series. Get out of the house. Make sure that you have support.
Yes.
From a group. Make sure that you're surrounding yourself with masters. Those that know what they're doing. Right? Because I'm going to tell you something. The blind can't be leading the blind. But when you surround yourself with people who are doing it and they are successful in doing, whether it be weight loss or anything, they're successful in that. These crumbs fall from the table.
Yes.
And you're like, these nuggets hit, and you're like, what? Oh, okay. I didn't even think about that. So surround yourself with people, positive people, people who don't mind mentoring you in a way, right?
Yeah.
And then think about what encouragement looks like to you, and write that down. And then if you don't have anybody else to say it, that's your affirmation. Encourage your own self every morning, every evening. If you need it 3 times a day, do it 3 times a day. Put it on. Now, we got whatever phone. I know most phones have a alarm on it, and you can name the alarm. So let the alarm go off and say, now tell yourself this, and just go on and say it, you know.
Android?
It might be on Android too. I don't know about your phone, but I know it's on my phone.
There are tons of apps.
You can get it. It should just come on your phone. Great. So today has been awesome. I hope that you have connected with several things that have been said today. If there's something else that dropped on you as we were talking, please message us, talk to us. That makes the conversation even better.
Yes.
I know you love saying robust. I say it now all the time. It makes the conversation more robust. So please message us about that, so that start a conversation. Start a conversation. We are on YouTube. Go there and start that conversation under the comments. And then share this with someone that you know needs to hear this.
Yeah.
If there's something that we said that, even if you disagree with something, message us.
Yes.
Yeah, put it in the comments. Start a conversation. We want to see what you have to say. Any other takeaways? I think we covered.
Enjoy your journey.
There you go.
Enjoy your journey.
Enjoy
your
the
journey.
journey. Yes.
Great. Well, thanks for coming again. And make sure that you share once again. Make sure that you like, subscribe, YouTube. We are on Apple. We are on IHOP. See, I'm hungry. No. iHeart. We are on Facebook also. But make sure that you share, like, subscribe, all those special things. Support us. Thank you so much. See you next time.